Tell the story.
I was pregnant. The person that assaulted me was going from shelter to shelter, following me, paying people off with dope to threaten me and stuff like this. And I said, I can't control how this was conceived, but it deserves a good start. So I went to detox from alcohol, but I had that threat there, so I left and I went to northern Okanagan, another town, and I was living underneath a bridge in a suitcase, and I was cold and I was desperate, so I wanted to get inside. Couldn't get into the shelters, so I made an idle threat. I knew they'd have to help me.
Don't use the word.
Yeah, I made an idle threat.
You put something to your stomach.
Yeah, I went like that.
You put something to your stomach, and then
I made a motion.
You put something to your stomach because you knew then they had to.
They had to take action. Their hand was forced then to take action. So I went.
Friends, listen to this.
So I went into the hospital and I said that I'd be willing to volunteer myself to stay. You wouldn't, and they.
And volunteering yourself, that means you're volunteering your body.
Not volunteering to stay at the mental health, whatever it was, so I could be inside and be safe, and being pregnant. And I had 6 security guards run at me.
They were not from Canada.
Yeah, and this is not the first time. This is just one of many instances. Actually,
one of many incidents from the security
my experiences
guards.
in the Kelowna hospital were 10 times worse. And they olanzapined me. I was already calm. I was thankful that I was there and I was safe, right? And I woke up. When I woke up, I was pregnant. I was like being dragged like this on my stomach, on my baby belly, down the hallway. And then one of the security guards flipped me over and he kneed me in the stomach.
All right, friends. So here we are at Victory Square, and I was just heading down to where I've got to go shopping. I got to go down to a chef place to get some tools so that I can cook my food well. And I was just walking through Victory Square, and I bounced upon a couple of people here, and we just started talking. And what an absolutely, your profound moments in time when someone tells you that they lost their child. And where did you lose your child? She passed away in the Hojo?
Yeah, on Granville Street.
On Granville Street. So this guy's daughter was, and unfortunately she passed away in the Howard Johnson, Hotel California. Everybody knows I do the work there, and nothing happens right here. Anyways, come on in, girl. What's your name? Robin, shake my hand. Give me some pounds. I'm not pound. I'm gonna hug. You okay?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Smoking? What are you smoking? What were you smoking there? Side. That's meth, right?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of meth?
I'm afraid I'll lose my teeth or I'll get psychosis.
Yeah, because women get psychosis a lot easier than men, right?
Well, my 2 DOCs would be alcohol and that. And
what's your accent? Where are you
Labrador.
from? You're from Labrador. I was thinking you were across the water. You're from here. You're Canadian. Yeah. You're from Labrador. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me earlier that you've actually in the last couple of years you came across Canada, walked across Canada, hitchhiking, taking the bus, however you got across, and you stopped in many different towns to try to get help, did you not?
Almost every province, because I had escaped exploitation and kidnapping and trafficking and stuff, and I was taking over a bunch of provinces, but I was just trying to get my life back and get to safety, so.
What was your experience being in these cities? Are they similar to what's going on in Vancouver? Are they worse? Are they better?
I don't know. When I first got to BC, I was in the Okanagan, and I would hear all these things, and I just thought it was kind of like mental health talk, like schizophrenia talk, like, the social experiments. And honestly, the longer that I'm here, there's the same issues everywhere across Canada. There's little East Hastings everywhere now, except for like some places on the East Coast and stuff where things are a little bit behind, right? But I mean, they're still facing newer social issues.
Okay.
But this is ground zero. East Hastings always has a name. Vancouver, all this kind of stuff. But this is everywhere now. This is just a different scale, and everything is everywhere. There's no place that is untouched. I've been in every province. I've asked for help showed up when I had to show up. Dot your I's and cross your T's and advocate for yourself and all the things. Get up when you don't want to get up. You do it anyway, right? That you have to. What's the alternative? Nothing happens. Well, you can't get nowhere.
If you don't ask for help, where are you going to go? Nowhere.
Well, no, but the thing is, most people I know, they could care less if they're in a rehab center. They could care less if their house. They're just.
Do you want sobriety?
I've
recovery.
I've checked myself into hospitals just purely so I can get those helps. I've even just being here for a month, I've availed of 7 outreach programs
7
in a month.
There's support. So what it sounds like, there's
And
support.
I was 2 weeks ago. I was 7 months pregnant.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And so.
What do you mean? No, sorry.
No. I was assaulted. I was assaulted, and then I became pregnant, and then I had complications. So I was sent to Vancouver Hospital here for a specialist, and I got stranded here after I had the stillbirth. And so I was like, okay, well, this is just another thing. You have to push forward. There's no alternative. You aim up or you aim down, and that's it. So I just said, okay, I'll go where I have to do what I have to do, and it's the same song and dance.
Where's your mom and dad?
I think they're home.
You think should we call them?
Yeah,
It's probably late right now.
Nobody really looked for me when I went missing. And that happens. I think sometimes there's stigma with it too when you're from small places. You know what I mean? It's like
Stigma when you're in a small town and you
people
need
don't
someone.
understand why your kid went missing or why is your kid gone on the streets and stuff like that, right? It's a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of them.
It's not a reflection of them, but unfortunately they take the brunt of it.
This is it, right?
They take the brunt of it, but unfortunately we're the ones that are living in the suffering.
Well, yeah, and I'm telling you, there's just so much hurt, man, out here. It's just everywhere. It's just hurt. People hurting. It's not anger, it's not laziness, it's not lack of trying, it's people get defeated because you get turned down, and when you get turned down for a couple of years of working your butt off, doing all the right things, trying to get your life back, some people, it's really hard to keep that motivation when every time you get hope, it's ripped out from underneath you.
Yeah, and this is what I find, friends, that like it's everywhere people go to get help. There's help. If you want to get help, there's help, but it's an veiled threat of help. They're actually not helping you. They're just saying, "Oh, do you want help? Okay, well you have to go over there to get help." And then you go over there to like the RAP center at St. Paul's Hospital, and you go in there, and then they give you a shot of what just happened there. I know a lot of friends. I know a lot of stuff that's going on in the hospitals and stuff. And just recently, I've been in a lot of conversations, collaboration with a few doctors that are now wanting to come out of the closet and tell the truth. But someone brought this name of this drug up to me a couple of weeks ago called Abilify. Abilify. So I gotta ask. So I just said the word because I heard you said you were in the Okanagan.
I was desperate.
Tell the story.
I was pregnant. The person that assaulted me was going from shelter to shelter, following me, paying people off with dope to threaten me and stuff like this. And I said, I can't control how this was conceived, but it deserves a good start. So I went to detox from alcohol, but I had that threat there, so I left and I went to northern Okanagan, another town, and I was living underneath a bridge in a suitcase, and I was cold and I was desperate, so I wanted to get inside. Couldn't get into the shelters, so I made an idle threat. I knew they'd have to help me.
Don't use the word.
Yeah. I made an idle threat.
You put something to your stomach.
Yeah, I went like that.
You put something to your stomach, and then I
made a motion.
You put something to your stomach because you knew then they had to.
They had to take action. Their hand was forced then to take action. So I went.
Friends, listen to this.
So I went into the hospital, and I said that I'd be willing to volunteer myself to stay. You wouldn't, and they.
And volunteering yourself, that means you're volunteering your body.
Not volunteering to stay at the mental health, whatever it was, so I could be inside and be safe and being pregnant. And I had 6 security guards run at me.
They were not from Canada.
Yeah, and this is not the first time. This is just one of many instances. Actually,
one of many incidents from the security
my experiences
guards.
In the Kelowna hospital were 10 times worse. And they olanzapined me. I was already calm. I was thankful that I was there and I was safe, right? And I woke up. When I woke up, I was pregnant. I was like being dragged like this on my stomach, on my baby belly, down the hallway. And then one of the security guards flipped me over and he kneed me in the stomach. And I just screamed, "I'm pregnant." And they just shut the door, and then they withheld food and water if I didn't take the medication. and it was Abilify and olanzapine.
So, friends, this
First
is what
thing they offered me was Abilify.
yeah, so this is what they're offering it, but they're not offering it. They're giving it. And they're pushing it on people. Abilify is for it's an antipsychotic medication.
It's an antipsychotic medication. It helps mood swings and mood disorders and all this kind of stuff as well.
No.
But it's
They
an
s-
antipsychotic.
They say it.
Yeah.
They say it does, but I'm not a doctor. Check out. This is not medical advice or nothing. But if you're on the street and you're listening to this and you go into the hospital, take nothing.
Yeah, well, they said to me, they goes, oh, this is really common and really safe for pregnant women to take. I said, I'm not schizophrenic. I don't have bipolar. I don't have any of these things. I'm ADHD and OCD. That is not a death sentence. I don't need these things, right? And no, they withheld food and water. The nurses did. And unless I took it. And I'm diabetic on top of it, so if my sugars drop, I get diabetic seizures and stuff. So I was like, what? It left me in a lurch. I had to take it.
Why did you start using drugs and alcohol?
Because you can't be sober out here.
No. When did you start doing drugs and alcohol? How old were you?
12, 13.
When did it become uncontrollable? When did you know you were like, you're addicted?
A lot longer than I would admit myself. No, I worked in mining for 20 years. You know, I had a house. I was at one point I was sober for an extended period when I was raising young children and stuff like this, right? But really, I was a functioning alcoholic my entire life. I didn't know not drinking was an option where I'm from. So it was just normalized. Right?
Screech.
Well, right. I'm like, I moved to Ontario and I was like, you don't drink? You must be a recovering alcoholic. No, I just choose not to. I'm like, that's an option?
Yeah, because Screech is a different world.
Right, but I mean, I wouldn't admit it. I wouldn't admit a lot of things for a long time, but I was denying myself of resources by denying my own issues.
Yeah.
I knew that a whole bunch more doors would open up if I said, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever, right? But the thing is, you shouldn't even really have to. The help should be just there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, like, there's a blessing in disguise in all this. I went to the BC Women's and Children's Hospital for the pregnancy. And
doctor, what's her name?
No,
I know her.
This place.
I know the head doctor there.
First time in 3 years, I felt like a human being again. I got my human card back.
Oh!
No, this is a very special place.
Yeah, at the Women's Children's Hospital.
It's like, it should be the standard care across, just the standard care. But I'm telling you, there's a special people that work there, and they made me feel human and important, and they're compassionate. But to me, that should be the standard level of care for anybody.
Yeah. So what happened when you left there?
Well, I had a lot of people kind of work on my end, like social workers from the hospital. I had all my specialist doctors write me letters saying because of the trafficking incident, because of the da-da-da, and all these factors.
Yeah.
They said it's urgent that she gets inside. She can't be outside, da-da-da, right? And so I did get an offer to go into a company that is well known down here that runs a lot of SROs.
Artera. One of those places.
And
she's not going to say, but it's one of those places.
So there's some people that work there that are doing the work for the right reasons, right?
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of people working in these places that are doing right.
It's their passion work, right? Like they're doing great things, and they really are. They're like they're putting action to words. And
sorry, I keep my head on a swivel at all times.
I know. I'm looking behind you this way. I know you're looking that way. You get used to people doing that, right? I'm looking behind you steady.
So we got each other.
All right. But so I was supposed to, I was actually had a bit of hope again. I was supposed to go into this other building that they run, and we were under the impression, me and one of the workers, that I go there, it'll help me get in a detox, help me get in a treatment. Because I have to be back to work for August the 1st full time. I'm no longer allowed to be on disability.
You got a countdown.
I have.
Do you have a safe place to stay now?
Just for 2 nights, and then I'm out on the street again. So I take advantage of
where do they have? Like, don't they help you get into another place after 2 days?
They can try, or they say that. So put it this way, I was under the influence under the impression that I was on a housing list for BC Housing for 2 years. I did 4 VATs, which is the needs assessment, like how severe you are.
Yep.
And I was at the top of that tier because so much has happened.
Absolutely.
And nobody submitted any of the paperwork 4 times, and I haven't been on a list at all. I had doctors and nurses and social workers say
so inconsistent, eh?
No, because that's why I don't trust any of them to do the work for me.
No,
I'd rather,
you-
because I've been thinking I'm on a housing list for 2 years and I'm not even on the list. And
Yeah.
then same as rehabilitation.
Wow, that just happened to
I was
me.
supposed to be on 4 different treatment centers waiting lists. Come to find out, when I got to that BC Women's Hospital, I'm not on any list. So nobody's doing their due diligence. Who's being held accountable? Nobody, because we're just homeless, lazy,
Well, no
too
one's-
lazy to get out of the way, homeless, drug addicts,
Yeah,
and
but
we're
in
not
the-
worthwhile.
In the SROs, no one's being held accountable because they're all doing the right job, so you can't punish them for doing the right thing.
And the thing is, it's about
It's
making.
fucked.
All they have to do is make face with the community.
Yeah, we're doing a good job. Artera, BC Builders, you're all a sham
It's like
shit show.
so they're the
And
turning.
God bless the people that work there that are actually
that
trying.
organization is the turning points of the Okanagan.
It's
Look
bad.
into them.
Yeah, no, I've been looking into a lot of them. I'm just afraid to.
No, like, and the thing
I'm
is,
afraid
we're
to put them
scapegoated.
out.
We're scapegoated because they're not. When somebody is sober, and when somebody is housed, and when somebody is working again, most of these people that work in these organizations had somebody close to them, or they lived this life before.
Yeah.
But once they have this, have the opportunity to move forward, and they've done that through having the right supports, now all of a sudden they get, like, not everybody, but there's this mind shift, and there's like, now they're using that because they lived this lifestyle before. They know how it works, so they're able to use that almost against their own people, like us. It's just power and control, and it's gluttony. And
Okay, here's the big question for you. What's the answer for you? What's the answer for you, by you, for you, with you, only you, no one else? What's the answer for you?
I need continuous detox right into rehabilitation so I could set myself up for the mind right set to be back to work.
6 months? You need
I
6
think-
months of care?
No, I need probably 3.
3 months of
But I'm
care.
looking at another 6 months before I can get in one, and I have to be back to work for August the 1st.
Okay, listen, I have connections. I know in a place that you probably don't want to be, but I have connections, the
I'll go
Okanagan.
anywhere where there's help.
There's a 12-bed house on a 3-acre property for women specifically.
I'll go anywhere.
And there's also a house on the property I think that they're putting 12 men into. But it's separate houses, separate everything, run by
I
a
don't-
friend of mine.
I don't care if
You
it's
have
on the
my
moon.
card. You have my card though, right? I'm going to give you my other card that has my number on it. So we can maybe I
Thank
can make
you
a
for
phone call and
extending
you
that
can.
offer.
Yeah, we'll just figure it
No,
out,
no,
right?
it
You
means
got an
a lot.
email, you got a
Because-
phone, you got
because
everything's hooked up.
7 outreach organizations later. and
And some strange mofo walking down the street talking
and we're
to you
like,
while
and,
you're
and
doing.
we're like, is he a surveyor or is he recording us? We can't tell.
Most
But
people
you know
don't
what?
know who the fuck
But
I
the
am
thing
and
is,
what
we
I'm
just-
doing.
We just need to be taken seriously, and the people that are really wanting to help, like,
Have you
go
ever
the extra mile,
have,
man.
have you ever seen someone like me walking around trying to talk to people? Like, hey, what's your problem? Can you get well? If you can't, can I help you?
That's
Have you ever
not-
had anyone from the city do that?
That's, well, not so much, but it reminded me of myself. I have nothing. I got a pot to piss in, and I'm like, hey, what can I do to help you? They're like, get away from me, weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the truth though, right? Like, how
No,
do you
just,
help?
all it takes is you acknowledge a person, make eye contact, say hello, make somebody feel like they have their human card.
I like that one, the human card.
Don't deny a person.
You almost need like have a human card today.
You get when you become unhoused, and you have to write no fixed address on every document anywhere you go. I'm telling you, the level of dignity that you receive there's no dignity. You're indignified.
When I was homeless from 94 to 96, and I went into detox at the East 322 East 22nd. Then I went into CCL right over here. Got kicked out of there because I was homicidal or suicidal. I don't know which one that day, but they kicked me out.
You're like
Moved
rock,
in
paper,
with my
scissors.
girlfriends. Went to MRTC. They kept my bed at Maplewood Treatment Center, so I go to MRTC. And 3 days before I got out at 28 days, I had to write down my name and my plan to move out, where I was going. And then I had to put my address, my name and my address, and I put NFA. And the fucking bells went off at the front door. They're like, you don't have a place to go? I'm like, no. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, no, I'll just figure it out. They're like, how do you figure it out? I'm a survivor.
Not everybody out here has had a life before.
Yeah.
And everybody out here has tried,
this guy here. What
tried
a
and
sad
tried and
story.
tried again. So when you see somebody on the street and they look like somebody too lazy to get out of their own way, or there's some low life fucking piece of shit junkie, no, that is somebody's family member. Maybe they didn't look for them because they don't get it. We don't want anybody to get it because we don't want nobody to have to go through this. But the thing is, man, we got to get up every day like you and look at everybody, look at us like we're degenerates, that we're some kind of we're vagrants, that we're not worth
We're
nothing.
not, though.
But people look at you like that, and I'm telling you, like, you think we don't see that just because we got our heads down, we're sitting on the sidewalk. We see all of this.
Do you know the difference between
We
you
choose
and I?
not to react to it.
You know the difference between you and I?
What's that?
The few days of sobriety.
100%.
Sorry, I got all the problems you got.
Like I said, I was just pregnant. As soon as I got pregnant, got into detox, whatever. It's not the issue. It's just a matter of I need the supports and I need them to show up now.
Yeah.
My time is running out. I've done the work. I've walked 15,000 kilometers looking for help. 15,000 kilometers. Terry Fox got nothing on me. Right? You know what I mean? Like, God loves his heart and he did all the good things. But literally,
All right.
like, nobody walked more kilometers than me.
All right, friends. Well, there you have it. One more day, one more story. Like you said, I can come down here every day and I can find 3 new stories that are absolutely different, but all retrospectively the same. People are suffering. They're in the state of suffering. They need help, and our government ain't doing shit. They're giving money to SROs that are putting people in houses, and they're drug dens, and that's all there is.
They're not healthy.
And they're not healthy. And anyways, God bless. You got my. I'm gonna give you my stuff, and when we're out, boom.